Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And remember, if you like this video, definitely give it a like and be sure to subscribe and consider supporting the channel. We always need your help to keep doing what we're doing, and we love our supporters. I have links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com if you want to donate that way. You could also purchase some of my books, not only the ones you see on the screen now, but also I have more that you can go ahead and check out, and that all helps us keep doing what we're doing. We love our supporters, and we wouldn't be able to do this without your help. And every little bit is very much appreciated, especially this time of year when donations generally go down a little bit. So if you can and if you want to, consider checking out those links. And we thank you for it. Now, one reason I really love living in Siem Reap, Cambodia, is because it is a big province, and it does have a lot, but it has a small town feel. It's like a big city with all the amenities, but it just has a small town feel. And there's a couple of different reasons for that. One is that it is so spread out, and you can get the full magnitude of what Cambodia has to offer living here, because you got the city center, which is going to be hustling and bustling with all the main businesses. But yeah, you can travel like 2 or 3 kilometers in any direction outside of that city center, and you'll come up on these little local neighborhoods where you won't rarely see any other foreigners, and it just has a more peaceful village type vibe to it, I guess you can say. So you can experience the tranquility of a small village and that kind of thing, and then just come back a couple 3 kilometers and be right in the heart of all the businesses and all the people and everything else. And I think you get a lot more of nature out here if you're into that, simply because Siem Reap is a big city, but because it is the home to Angkor Wat, the buildings can only be so tall. I've said this before. They can only have so many floors because buildings are not allowed to go above the highest point of the main Angkor Wat complex, because they revere that complex. It's their identity. It's their main cultural identity. So of course it's a very important place. So yeah, you got a lot more open sky, and you can see a lot more of what nature has in that respect. And I know other areas in Cambodia have that also. Okay, not every other place is like Phnom Penh. But I'm just saying that's one reason why I like living in Siem Reap so much. But no matter where you live in Cambodia, there are so many seemingly endless options for everything. It can be a bit daunting at times. What area do you want to live in? Which apartment do you want to live in? What kind of food do you want to eat, and where do you want to go to eat that food? Do you want a massage? Which massage parlor? You need something printed? Okay, which print shop should I use? Where do you want to go out and drink and experience your entertainment at night? It's almost limitless options for all of those things. And you can get a case of analysis paralysis when you think about all those options. And I think especially for a person who's never been here before and experienced it, it can be a bit overwhelming at times. Because especially in the heart of the city, in the main area of town, you're walking by these restaurants and businesses, and you have their employees out front, and they're all trying to get your attention, trying to get you to purchase from them. Excuse me, do you come in here, get something to eat? Come in here, have a beer here. Hey, do you want to buy a shirt? Do you want to buy a hat? Hey, do you want a tuk-tuk? Do you want a pass app? Just for any conceivable thing, you're just going to have that level of competition. because they want you to come in and they want you to spend your money, of course. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But I can guarantee you that no matter how overwhelmed you might feel at first, and this doesn't really apply to tourists, I don't think, because if you're coming here on vacation, chances are you've saved enough money for your 2-week vacation or your month-long holiday or what have you, and you just want to have fun. You don't want to have to think about those things. Like if you want to eat here, yeah, you got the money for it. You might not normally, but you're just going to go in there and go for it. And that's fine. That's great. Absolutely. This is more for people who want to come over here and retire. And believe it or not, it might not seem like it at first, but eventually you will find your places and your things. And not necessarily just based on price, neither. You might like to eat at a restaurant that might be a little more expensive than elsewhere for the same food. But maybe it's close to where you live. Maybe the owners are very, very nice to you. Maybe the other locals like to chat it up with you while you're eating. Maybe you have people you like to eat with all the time, And the same thing goes for bars. There's so many options for bars and places to drink, if you're into that, but eventually you will find your place. The one that fits you, it fits your personality, and that's an ever learning process. And that doesn't mean once you find those places, you should not try anything else. Because, I get into that habit. I'm kind of a nester. Like I find the things and I'm like, that's where I'm going to get that thing forever because I like it. But since I've been here, I've learned to expand a little bit, expand my horizons. And, I can tell you, like, you can get certain local dishes here, which I encourage everybody to try. You can get the beef loklak. Every local restaurant knows how to make beef loklak. And I can't recall a time I've ever had a bad beef loklak. Because it's basically the same ingredients, cooked the same way. Everybody knows the recipe, basically. And so where you get that is going to depend, again, on, maybe it's the proximity to you, maybe it's the owner of one place compared to the other, that kind of thing. But then there's babor. You can find babor everywhere. And again, generally the same quality, same portions, and around the same price. But then there's stuff like kaw. I always encourage people to try kaw because it's one of my favorite Cambodian dishes. And but there is definitely a difference in the quality of kaw at different restaurants. And I found 3 places that I really, really like, and a couple that I wasn't too impressed with when it comes to that. But yeah, eventually, and it might take a couple weeks, maybe you're a quick study, or it might take a few months, if you're just relaxing and trying out a lot of different things. But eventually, I just want to encourage everybody that you will find these places and these things where you prefer to get different, whatever, from groceries to going out and going for a night out, to where you're going to eat, to, if you need clothes, where are you going to buy your clothes. You'll get a lot of suggestions, and some of them will be good. Some of them will just be, probably won't use it. But just because you find your places, again, don't mean you shouldn't expand and try other things as they come along. Like just the other night, I met a subscriber on the street. Shout out to KC if he's listening. And we spoke for a few minutes, and he was telling me about one of his favorite restaurants he likes here. Khmer Taste restaurant. Now, I've heard of Khmer Taste a bunch of times. I pass it almost daily. I've never eaten there, not out of any kind of, because I didn't want to or I didn't think I'd like it. It just hasn't happened. And I've been here 7 years, But then he started telling me about some of the things they offer and some of the fantastic prices. And I was like, he kind of gave me a new perspective that this restaurant I kind of took for granted and had never tried. Now, I'm definitely going to go there and give it a try. I mean, they're very highly rated, so there's no reason to be worried about it. I'm sure the quality's good, and according to him, the prices are fantastic for the portions you get. So, yeah, gonna have to go over there and give that one a try. But again, no matter how long you live here, so, me, 7 years, other people 10, 20, 30 years, sometimes. There's always new things popping up. There's always new things to try. And you never know, by stopping into a random place that you didn't think about before, you might just find your next favorite thing. And that doesn't just apply to restaurants. It does also apply to bars or, places where you buy, little knickknacks or souvenirs or, like I said, your clothes, flip-flops, if you need a hat, stuff like that. Because there are tons of places. But I do want to say that in general, here's a little tip for you, and I've said this before, but for all the new subscribers, that the further out of the downtown area you get in Siem Reap, the less expensive prices are going to be on all those things. Because downtown is really the main tourist hub of Siem Reap. That's where you're going to find the most foreigners. And of course, they come and they go, but there's a certain amount that live there in apartments in that area. And so, the main part of the downtown area, the main market is the old market. And prices are just a little bit higher there for your local groceries, like your chicken, your pork, your beef, your oil, your butter, whatever you want, your vegetables, your fruit, potatoes even, all that stuff. Huge market. You can get almost anything there. But prices are just a little bit more than they would be like at Sasamaki, which is out off Highway 6, or Salu, which is further down Highway 6, or Sakraum, which is the other way. The old market is closest to us where we live right now, so that's usually the one we use. But you will notice as you get out of the downtown area, prices do get a little bit less expensive. So don't be afraid to venture forth, and find what you're looking for. I mean, we found this clothing store on Watbo Road where when we first started going, everything was $2.50 or less for shirts, shoes, pants, flip-flops, backpacks for the kids, sunglasses, and, just things like that. It's a clothing store. They now expanded, and now not everything is $2.50 or less, but they still have a large selection that is. But some things are, they added a whole nother section with more upscale clothing, so you might pay a little more there. But that's my first stop if I need like a couple shirts and maybe another pair of shorts. That's the first place I'll go check to see if they have what I want or what I like, and if they have it in my size. And generally for the clothes I get, I'm paying $2.50 for each item, sometimes less, and if they're having a sale or whatever. So yeah, for if I had an extra $10, I could come out with, almost half a good wardrobe, for me, because I don't have very many clothes to begin with. So, but eventually you find all these places, and I like to go to that place, and other people might not like going to that place. Larger size people probably will not like going there because the clothes just don't come that big. I'm not a large person, and yet I still sometimes have trouble finding clothes in my size that actually fit, that's not too tight. I go to the biggest size they had, the biggest Asian size, and sometimes it still doesn't quite work out, But that's all right. We'll try somewhere else, Plenty of options, as I said, for almost anything you want here. And determining where you want to live, that's just something I can't say one area is better than the other. I've lived in many different communes within Siem Reap, and there's not really one I prefer to the other one. They all have their pluses and minuses, and that's something you're just going to have to determine for yourself over time. But I will say, don't when you're first looking for your forever home, don't just look in one place. Look in a bunch of different areas and check out, and you might like the apartment in one area, but you might like the area in another that has another apartment, but you might like one apartment better. So, you have to make a determination. Is the area more important than the apartment, or vice versa? That kind of thing. But if I can help you out, let me know. And I'll tell you, I'll give you the details and all that good stuff. All right, well, I hope that helped you out. Like I said, don't forget to check out all my links down below. I have links to PayPal and Ko-fi. You can purchase my books, check out my other channel, Horror Reads. And I got a bunch of people vlogging from this part of the world. They are all their channels are listed down below, and they are excellent, and you should definitely check them out as well. All right, from Siem, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.